Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial on yield keyword in C#. We will explore what it does, how it simplifies iterators, and how you can use it to write cleaner, more efficient code. Yield returns item lazily from an iterator method. The compiler maintains the state for you. You can return item lazily one by one from the iterator method. So no manual IEnumerator code is needed. Here let's see a basic example. Here we have get numbers method, which is returning IEnumerable of integer. Here we can see we have three yield keywords: yield return 1, yield return 2, yield return 3. So when this get numbers method will be called in a for each loop, each yield return pauses the method and resumes on the next iteration. In this slide we can see we are using get numbers method and we are printing each numbers. So when this for each loop will be called three times, these numbers 1, 2, 3 will be printed. So we can see here that at runtime we can pause the iterator method and return items one by one. So let's see what happens behind the scenes. C# compiles iterator method into a hidden class implementing IEnumerator. When first yield return is executed, method execution pauses. When next move next method is called from for each loop, again it resumes, and auto-generated state machine stores the collection, so no need of manually storing the collection data. We can also use yield break to stop iteration early. Here if we can see we are calling a for each loop and iterating through all the numbers, and if we want to break from the loop, we can use yield break to stop the execution early. So in this slide, let's see the real world example of lazy file reading. It is used to read huge files line by line without loading all the memory. So yield keyword is great for streaming scenarios where we need not load huge files in the memory and we can read all the file line by line. In this readlines method, we can see we are using yield keyword to return each line in a file. Let's flip to Visual Studio and see this example in detail. So in this class, I have a readlines method which is reading a file from a path, and it is iterating over all the lines of the file which is at this path, and it is returning one line at a time by a yield return. So we can see here this is the advantage of yield return, that we need not store whole file at a temporary storage, and when this readlines method is called in a for each loop, we can return one line at a time. In the main method, I am calling this readline method in a for each loop, and I have stored this in my local directory. And so let's see what is the data in this sample text. It has test data, three lines of data. So when we will call this readlines method from in a for each loop, it should return each line one at a time. We need not store whole sample.txt file in the temporary storage. So let's run this. So we can see here it has returned all the lines in the file one at a time. So basic advantage of yield return is that we need not store whole data in a collection or a temporary storage, and at runtime we can return all the data in the huge file one at a time. In this slide, let's see when not to use yield return. If we need random access to items, generic list or an array collection is better over lazy iterator. If we have complex external state management, or we need to have access to cache or reuse the full results, then also yield return is not a good choice. Thanks for watching. Hope this video was helpful in explaining yield return keyword in C Sharp. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you very much.